Africa's politics have fallen into the hands of elites, as the Nigerians would call them. These are a class of people who are pure business politicians, and business and politics go together in Africa. You cannot stand as a poor man. I came across a wonderful example the other day from Kenya, where a man who cycled around on a bicycle was trying to get himself elected, and the people just laughed at him, and they say, "You've only got a bicycle. What can you do for us? We need a big man with a big car with money. That's the politician we need to." So there's this mentality, which I think has allowed a very small group of people to take over those countries politically, but also economically. And that's why you have something like, I think the World Bank says, between 60 and 70% of Africa's capital shifted out of the continent. It's in banks in Europe and Asia and maybe America as well. But these people just do what the colonialists did, which was suck the wealth out and shift it overseas. And until that changes, that is, until there's a new generation or even a revolution that actually takes power back to African people, I think those problems, that lack of development, will continue.
Adama Gaye, our guest, has just said we should not normalise military coups, but there is a scenario, maybe, that this might be a good thing because of the jihadist terrorism, the jihadist armed groups that they face in the north of the country. Maybe this is what's needed to defeat those groups. And clearly that's an international objective. Doesn't have anything to do with the people of Burkina Faso and helping them, but it is an international objective. Is there a response here that is actually good?
Yeah, there is a global recession of democracy in the world. The Summit on Democracy organized recently by President Biden in America was a failure. And many in Africa are looking to Turkey, China, Russia, to strongmen leading some countries as model to emulate. Now, you have also to take into account the history of Burkina Faso. This is not the first time the military come into the political fray. I remember General Lamizana Sangule. He was a military in the 70s. Afterward, there was another military. And then in the 80s, there was Thomas Sankara, who came to power in 1983-84. And then Blaise Compaoré was also a military. So this is not something new in the history of Burkina Faso. The problem is, you can't call countries to demand for civilian rule to be in place when those civilian rule, once they come to power, they entrench themselves and only privatize the resources of their countries and act for their sole interest, not for the common good. And This is the problem. Because I remember I was in Algiers in June 1999 when the then OAU, the predecessor of African Union, decided to ensure that the military leave the management of the countries to allow the civilian. But it was against a deal that the civilian would deliver on good governance, that they will ensure the physical integrity of the countries, and they will promote good governance of their resources and democracy. This is not happening, and the deal is failing, and don't be surprised that more military prompted by African youngsters and other African public opinion makers, influencers, will enter into the political fray because, like the other gentleman said, the African Union and other African organizations, they are absent out of the scene, and the United Nations organization do not seem to understand the challenges brewing within West Africa at the moment, and within Africa in general, to say the least.
Well, thank you very much to all our guests, Emmanuel Kwesi, Jesper Bjarnason and Adama Gaye. And thank you too for watching.